In a church, when I used to counsel, now we have people that do the counseling before wedding. When people come to me, they want to get married. One of the number one questions I ask them, so tell me about your fight. Very soon they started talking about me everywhere. I said, that pastor is not a good pastor. He's always asking people if they are fighting. But I'm not so much interested in the fight. I want to know how you settle. Because there is nobody you marry. Praise God. Why are you looking at Pastor Bode and you are looking at all the married people here? Amen? Singles. God will help you. Do I find forgiving easy? Number 5 is the feeling mutual. And I want to talk to you ladies. Because one guy told me, he said, Reverend, don't worry about that. I love him enough for both of us. I abused her in tongues. I said, oh, day. People like that, we should sing special number for them. How dumb thou art. How dumb. If you ever meet Leah, ask Leah. Leah loved Jacob, but Jacob just never loved her. She loved him so much that after waiting 7 years for him, the man decided to wait 7 years extra to marry the sister. She stayed. What a love. She gave birth to a first child. The sister was barren. She named that child, now my husband will love me. He still didn't love her. The man kept on loving the one that had no child. She gave birth to the second one. Now he will really, really love me. That's the name. He said he didn't love her. In fact, cut long story short, even till the time they were about to die, Esau was about to kill them. He now arranged things in the order of priority. So he put goat, cow, Leah and her children, they follow cow. You need to be sure that the feeling is mutual. I say to the young people around me, if he's too busy to call, he does not love you. No man is that busy. His work is very busy. That is why we've not been able to even see. No, he's seeing Man you play Arsenal. A man will create time for what he values. Is the feeling mutual. Number 6 is one of my own favorite questions you need to ask yourself. Will my kids agree? What makes marriage choice very difficult, sir, is the fact that you are not just choosing for yourself a wife. You are choosing for your children a mother. You are not just choosing for yourself a husband. You are choosing for your children a father. Which means your choice today, the marking scheme will take 15 years at least. Because in 15 years, your children will say, either they will say, thank you, Daddy, for giving us such a beautiful mommy. Or say, thank you, Mommy, for giving us such a beautiful daddy. Or they will say, Mommy, you too. What are you looking at? When your friends were choosing better. You see that you don't have glasses. Unfortunately for us, the reason why most of us choose who we want to marry, by the time the children come, we can't see it again. You marry him because he has 6 packs. By the time the children come, it has become an amusement park. So what they see is a cake. They can't even see the 6 packs. So they are wondering what is wrong with you. Why should you? 6 packs don't pay tuition. 6 packs does not mean responsibility. When my children wants to mess with me, they will say, Daddy, Mommy is nice. It is you. I will tell them, be thanking me that I didn't marry a Jezebel for you. If I married you a Jezebel, it won't be talking like this. So you need to ask yourself, you need to look at who you want to marry with the eyes of the children. Will my children agree? Number 7, is God in it? Because you see, if God is not there at the Genesis, don't expect him to show up at the Revelation. A threefold cord is not easily broken. Ecclesiastes 4:12. One of the things I've even discovered is that when marriage is a triangle, people are trying to move closer together. It takes a longer time. But if the husband can move towards God and the wife can move towards God, the closer to God they get, the closer to one another they get. Let God be the foundation. I tell people as a pastor, many people at fixed wedding dates sometimes before they tell me. By the time the problem comes, they are now calling, "Oh, Reverend, can you help me?" I say, "Look, if you had carried me along from the beginning, it would have been better." It's God in it. Number 8. The vital relationships in my life, do they agree? Vital relationships. Proverbs 11:14 said there is safety in multitude of counselors. When I mean vital relationships, I mean your father, your mother, your pastor, your spiritual friends, your counselor, your mentor, your coach. Because many times if you don't listen to your mentor, you will experience a lot of tormentors. You need to find out, do they agree? I told somebody in church of late, I said, you are looking at just this, your relationship. I mentor hundreds of relationships all over the world. Whites, blacks, green, even orange, or color. So when I say this won't work, I'm talking from experience. What the young man will not see if he climb a tree, the elderly man sitting under the tree can see it. You young people need to listen to us a bit. There is only one thing we can say to you, you can never say to us. It is that we have been where you are. You might say to us, we don't know WhatsApp. You might say, we don't know filter. We don't know Snapchat. But one thing we know is that where you are now, we have been there. And that should qualify for a level of experience. I remember as a young pastor, a young lady came to me, a young guy came to me and said, "Reverend, that girl I want to marry, the father said I can't marry her." I was surprised. I said, "Why? You people look compatible." The guy said, "I don't know." I said, "Don't worry, I know the father. I'll go and talk to him." So after service, I went to the man's house. I greeted him. He greeted me. He said, "Oh, Reverend, you're welcome." I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "This guy wants to marry your daughter." He said, "You said no." The man said, "No, he can never marry my daughter." I said, "Why?" The man said in my language that the boy is stingy. I look at the man. I say, "Yeah. How did you know?" The man said they've been going out for 2 years. Ordinary loaf of bread is not brought to this house. Ordinary handkerchief he had never bought for my daughter. I said, "Sir, you have spoken prophetically. The boy is an ahun. It's very stingy." I said, "Even me, his pastor, that lay hands on him, that lay leg on him, that lay tummy on him, since he has started walking, have a penny I've not seen." That is what a matured mind will see. What the girl is seeing is that he's handsome. He speaks phonetics. He speaks through his nose like an American. But you see, you get tired of that in 2 weeks. Hello? You marry narrow is the way. Give her a little bit of a time, she will become heavy laden, press down, shaking together, running over. Those are not the emphasis. Praise God. Look at me, I used to have hair. I used to have. As you grow. So those are not the things you look at. If my wife had married me because of fine hair, where will we be today? Number 9. Is there peace? For a believer, peace is very important. In John 14:27, Jesus said, "The only gift I'm leaving with you is peace." He said, "Not like the world lives." He said, "It's peace that does not make sense. Peace that passes all understanding. Peace that does not make sense." That peace is meant to be according to Colossians 3:15 Amplified Version. He says, let the peace of God be the umpire, the referee in your heart, settling with finality every question that will arise in your mind, because that is how God had called you to live. No matter who you marry, there will be questions in your mind. Just before I said to my wife, I was still thinking, will she be able to cope with my lifestyle? Will she be able to, because she was a very quiet lady that wasn't talking. This won't be able to speak in church. And I was thinking, am I sure I won't get tired of her in 10 years? There were questions in my mind, but you know what? No matter the questions in my mind, the peace of God in my heart settles it. So you need to be sure that you have peace, not manufactured one, but peace that you know God gives. And that is very important. Number 10, very important question. In fact, my wife's favorite question. You need to ask yourself, am I ready to make it work? Because even for marriages made in heaven, maintenance is on earth. I tell you. Somebody came to me and said, Reverend, I don't know why my marriage is not working. I said, I know, because you are not making it work. You have to make up your mind to make your marriage work. Marriage is an investment. Some of you buy books how to make it big in America. You buy books how to get 6 packs. A book on marriage you have never read. There is this son of mine. He came to the city where I live, had me preach on relationship. He got inspired. So he went back to Lagos and started teaching the same thing. But of course, a pastor can't teach relationship alone. So he teach success principles, biblical principles. This young Igbo boy, listen to him teach about success, biblical principles. God blessed. He went to go and apply the principles, and God blessed him. And the guy was excited. He said, Pastor, I'll follow you forever. Whenever you want to teach success principles, let me know. But when you are teaching marriage, I'm not ready for that. It's success to make it big. Una, I must eat them big. The pastor said, he told him, he said, but you know, you eventually marry. He said, when I marry, don't worry, that won't be a problem. And sincerely, the biblical success principles worked for him. He became a multimillionaire very early. Unfortunately for him, married wrong. The first marriage did not work. The second one did not work. In fact, he died at 34. Complications from marrying wrong. Marriage is too vital. Don't say, well, I used to have a daughter in the Lord. Nice girl. Prayer warrior. Good girl. She read medicine, University of Ibadan. Doctor, medical doctor graduate. She brought a guy to me and said, this guy I want to marry. I called her aside. I first of all said to her in front of the guy, I said, I don't believe this is your husband. You know, the guy looked at me as if, what's wrong with this man? Then I called her aside. I said, you know, I've never met him before. But my heart told me, this is not your husband. She left. She stopped calling me or talking to me. She said, it must be my pastor of our church, our branch in Lagos, that told me. And that one never told me. But when she took him to that one too, that one said the same thing. I didn't see the girl for years. Then one day she appeared. She came to my office and said she came to apologize. I said, it's okay. You have been married now for about 3 years. How are you doing? She said, fine. I said, no grudge, no nothing. Beautiful. Then 2 years after, she called me one day and said, Rev, where are you? I said, I'm in church. She said, I just want to greet you. And now 30 minutes after, she walked into church wearing a flip-flop. Lagos to Ibadan is about 2 hours, 1.5 hours, 2 hours. This is a medical doctor. I said, she was looking dirty, smelly. I said, what's happening? Cut long story short, she had lost her mind. The guy had messed her up big time. But what do? I'm a father. I pick my phone, I call the guy to beg him for us to have a meeting. The guy said, who is talking? I said, this is Dr. Alberto Oduwole. He said, look, never call this line again in your life. I say, yeah, look at my life. Is he age? Is he achievement? Me and this rascal. What do you do? I wish I could tell you that the story has a good ending, because I moved her to my house. I took care of her. One day, she said she was going back to Lagos. And it's been up to 5 years now. We don't know where she is. Dead or alive, we can't say. We've done a lot to look for her. Make it work. That is why when we are talking about things like these, young people think we stress too much. But we have seen the other side of not getting it right. So let's talk to people that are stuck. I should talk to the stock. All right. Stock locally and stock internationally. Love across the ocean. Let me talk to them. One of my books is I Love My Spouse, But. I wrote the book because for about 25 years, I've seen people that say to me, Reverend, you know, I really love my wife, but. I love my husband, though, but. So the question is, what do we do with the but? I started the book by writing a true life story of a man that went home and carried his wife and started dancing. Of course, the wife was happy, the wife was elated, the wife was excited. The wife said, are you drunk? The man said, I'm not drunk, in fact, I'm coming from church. What did Pastor Bott preach that made you come carry me and you are dancing like this? Did Pastor Bott preach about marriage? No, he didn't preach about romance. So what did he preach? Well, he said we should go home and go and carry our burdens with joy. Our burdens. If you don't do your marriage well, your blessing will become a burden. That is why it's important that we get it right. Am I talking to somebody in this house? So, in America here, it's very surprising. They did a survey. What is the number one reason why couples divorce? You know, I was thinking it would be money. I mean, if you get what I'm saying. I thought it would be money. But it's not money, surprisingly. It is what they call irreconcilable differences. And I spoke in tongues. Kim Jewa. What's that? Irreconcilable differences. And it's the number one reason. And I wish I could say that's in the world. But it's also in the church right now. I've counseled people from Europe to North America, to Africa, to Asia, that says, Reverend, I just don't think we are compatible. Let me start by saying to you, God never wanted you to marry somebody that is exactly the same like you. In fact, if all of us are the same, some of us will not be necessary. Nobody celebrates uniformity. What we celebrate is uniqueness. So a good marriage is a marriage in which one is saying, if the light is off, I can't sleep. And the other one says, if the light is on, I can't sleep. That's a good marriage. The other one says, I don't like the smell of coffee. Another one says, if coffee is not smelling in the house, I will fall sick. That's a good marriage. Where one is a giver that can give his eyes away, and the other one has super glue in her hand. Whatever she touch does not move. God made it like that, because if both of you are givers like that, we'll get to your house one day. And I'll say, Biola, where are the children? Say, Reverend, it's the neighbors who. They've been married for 6 years, no children. So I spoke with Pastor Bode, let us give them the children. And he agreed. So God will make sure if Biola wants to give the children away, but they will say, not my children. Balance. There is no irreconcilable differences. Differences is actually the mind of God. Let me show you this from another of my books. I still do. I wrote that book, I still do, because some people that said I do are now saying I'm done. I'm not doing again. I'm done doing. I'm done for. I'm done. But my wife and I wrote 10 chapters. I wrote 5 chapters. She wrote 5 chapters. for us to say, I still do. We've been doing that for 21 years. And we continue to do forever. Can somebody say amen? I want to talk about different. In this book, I explain the fact that now, if you go to that Matthew 19, it will shock you. Because they came to Jesus. Is it okay for us to divorce our wife for every reason? I thought Jesus will start to give deep counsel. What did he say? He said, well, male and female created he them. Excuse me? We want to divorce? You say, what he was trying to say is that most of the problem you have in marriage is just because you are different by nature and by nurture. That's all. I wrote here that when computer was first made, there was an argument between scientists. Male scientists said the computer is a female, so we should use she for computer. The female scientist said, no! Computer is exactly like a man, we should use he for computer. After much argument, they said, okay, this is what we will do. Go and bring forth your strong reasons. This is what the lady said. They said computer is exactly like a man, so computer is a he. They said, number one, to get their attention, you have to turn them on. To get the attention of computer, you turn it on. To get the attention of a husband, you have to turn them on. They said number two, like man, exactly like computer. They are meant to solve problems, but half of the time, they are the problem. They said number three, like computer, like our men. Soon after you spend all your money to get one, you will now discover if you have waited a little bit longer, you could have gotten a better version. But the main scientist said, no way. Computer is exactly like a woman. They said number one, nobody but the maker understands how they function. They say number two, even your slightest mistake is stored up in long-term memory. They said number three, soon after you gather your money to buy one, you have to borrow money to buy accessories. But the truth of the matter is that we are different. Male and female created in them. I'll just mention 3 or 4 major differences between a man and a woman. Number one, I wrote here, men are goal-oriented, work-oriented. Women are home-oriented. When you see men, all we think about is our work. In fact, when men are talking, say, hello, my name is Jude, I work with Slumby J. Well, my name is Dipo, I work with Park of America. My name is so-and-so, I work with Starbucks. But when ladies are talking, they are not talking about saying, you can't imagine what my son said. In fact, the other time my daughter now said, even my granddaughter, when they are going home, there is a fight. The man is saying, must everybody know about your family? And she saying, must everybody know about your work? It might be because when God made man, he gave him work before he gave him wife. But when God made a woman, the first thing she saw was relationship. That might be why when a man's work is not working, he enters into depression. When a woman's marriage is not working, she enters into depression. I remember years ago, I was in a country called Botswana. It's a small country, 2001. That's about how many years ago now? Long ago. 18 years or so. And then there was no phone and all that. So I was talking about my wife. One Botswana lady came to me and said, you talk a lot about your wife. I said, yeah. She said, can I see a picture? I look at her, I said, a picture? She said, yes, a picture. I said, I don't have a picture. She said, and you say you love her. I said, I know what she looks like. But you see, if a woman loves somebody, they have the picture everywhere. My wife and I used to share the same office. It's about this size, but we used to share. I was on one end, she was on one end. I entered one day and I saw she was really annoyed, angry. I said, what is the problem? She said, it's the cleaners. I said, what have they done this time? She said, my picture frame on my table, they keep on shifting it. I said, tell them not to shift it. She said, I've told them several times they won't listen. I said, how did they shift it? She said, I put it like this, they shift it like this. I said, hold on. You put it like how? So I put it to face me, then they will shift it. I said, it's me that shift it. She said, why? I said, it's picture of me and you. She said, So you put it to be facing you. She said, eh. I said, why? He said, it's our big. You want to be looking at us? Are you not tired? We live in the same house. We drive in the same car. We come to the same office. You still want to be looking at us? I thought you put it there for visitors. She said, no, I put it there for myself. Up till now, I don't understand it. But women, that might be why God made sure it's women that get pregnant. God knew if it is men, abortion would have been legalized long ago. The man will just say, doctor, let me remove this pregnancy. I want to go and play golf. I will take in again next month. Only a woman can go through all the stress of pregnancy and still enjoy. Oh my. Men are work-oriented. Women are goal. Women are home-oriented. Men enjoy the promise. Women, the process. For women, it's just a promise. That's all. I'm one of those people that discovered the best way to cook beans as a student at the best university in the world, University of Ibadan. Even Harvard acknowledged it. I discovered to cook beans without stress. You just carry the beans, you put it into water, you put the Maggi, you put the seasoning, you put the onion, you put the pepper, you put the oil, you cover it, you go and watch football. You come back in 1 hour, it's done. Then I got married. Number one, she will remove all the nutrients away from the beans. 30 minutes. Then the remaining nutrient, she will wash it away. Then put water, ordinary water, on fire. Then go. Then come back to put the beans. Then go. Then come back to taste if it is soft. Then go. Then come back to cut onion. Then go. Then come back to put salt. Then go. Then come back to put pepper. Ah! By the time she's done, I said, are you eating? Say, I'm too tired to eat. Why won't you be tired? But women, for some reason, they enjoy the process sometimes more than the promise. That is why women love shopping more than buying. If I want to buy suit in this America, I call the shop. I'm on my way to you. Armani suit, blue, 2 buttons. If I get there, don't show me black. Don't show me 2 buttons. Don't tell me maybe the double-breasted will fit you. I don't want. In fact, many a times I've bought, it happened to me in Manchester 2 weeks ago. I bought the thing, took it home, discovered it does not size me. They had to return it. But to be there and be testing it, I don't have time. But my wife, don't tell her I told you. She wants a blue dress. Then me trying to be lover boy, I follow her. Say, can I see the yellow? Yellow. You don't want yellow? You never wear yellow? You will not buy? I say, yes, I just want to see. Ah! So when you see a man holding the hand of his wife, then your time is not love. It's to make sure she does not see yellow and be looking for you. A woman will price something from $500 to $100. Then they say, bring the money. Say, no, I'm just pricing it. How can you just be pricing it? A man called me and said, Reverend, I'm going to beat my wife. You said we should not touch our wife. I said, can you be calling me? I want to beat her. Say, if you know what my wife did. I'm in Lagos. My wife called me to be coming home. That our son is talking. I risked my life. I left my work. I got home. I said, so Bobo talk. But I said, ta. I said, he's talking. The guy, is this talking? But you see, for ladies, every small progress is exciting. And that affects everything. Process. So I said to the men, if you want to make love to your wife at night, you start in the morning. A woman enjoys the process more than the promise. Stop being a bushman like your grandfather. Mama Clara, come, lie down. God punished the devil and his mother-in-law. How can you be reading the book of Romans and not be romantic? When we go for family vacation, the ladies will be shopping. Me and my son will be following behind them. We'll be looking like lambs being led to the slaughter. When we see other men, we look at one another and say, I know when the women look like women, for some reason, I don't know why they enjoy the promise. Let me look for one more too. Men are rational, women are emotional. That's how they are made. Men rational, women irrational. I told my son, I said, do you know what ladies do when they are sad? She said, yeah. So what do they do? He said, they cry. I said, good. Do you know what they do when they're happy? He said, no. I said, they cry. Do you know they cry and they don't know why? So why are you crying? Even that confirms it. Say, why are you crying? I don't know why I'm crying. If Solid is crying, he better know. Say, Solid, why are you crying? Reverend, I don't know that. I bind the devil. Come out of him. Because women are emotional. So women needs to know when you want to talk to your man, you move it from emotion to rational. We don't do emotion well. Men, when you want to talk to your woman, you move it from rational to emotional. Women don't do rational well. I told one lady in Nigeria went to her husband and said, honey, I've been feeling and dreaming. We should move the children away from that school. The man said, you have been feeling. Are you a feeler? You ate yesterday. You are now, leave me. I told her, I said, it's your fault. You don't say that to a man, I've been feeling. Number one, go look for another school. Number two, be sure that that school standard is better than the one your kids are in. Number three, make sure it's cheaper. For a man, cheaper is a magic word. When a man hears cheaper, an anointing comes upon him. He will say, move them since yesterday. Move them cheaper. Amen. One man called me from US here, Texas, and said, Reverend, well, you said we should buy gifts for our wife. I bought my wife a brand new car, red color, turbo engine, 6 cylinders, automatic brake system. I was saying, yeah. So, my wife said she does not want. I said, how did you tell her? He said, the same way I'm telling you. I said, you are the one that is the son of disgrace. Automatic brake system. Does she know what that is called? 6 cylinder. Which one is cylinder? I told him, I said, you say to her, honey, you've been such a blessing to my life. And I've been thinking of how to reward you. I thought of a card, but the card will soon tear. I thought of a meal, but then that ends in the toilet. Then I saw this car, red color. It stands out like you stand out in my life. Turbo engine, just like you are the engine that runs my life. Automatic brake system. God put you in my life to put brake on me so I won't have an accident. Before you finish, you can say, bring the car, bring the car, bring it. Same car, same lady, same man, same scenario. What change? You move it from rational to emotional. A man thinks, a woman feels. Make her feel it. I'll preach, I'll make it louder. They need to hear it. So there are other differences. I'll give you an example. I use my wife and I as an example. I wrote it in this particular book. Opposites always attract. The first time my wife saw me, what attracted her to me was the fact that I was talking. And she was a very quiet lady that does not talk. So she said, so somebody can talk this much and make sense. I like him. And me, what attracted me was she was quiet. I said, so somebody can be this cool, calm and collected. I like her. Opposites attract. But after that, it started disturbing. If we enter into cab, she will tell me not to talk. I'm disturbing the other. I pay for myself. I pay for my character. I was speaking one day. I've not been speaking for too long. Only 2 hours. Only 2 hours. Then she was looking at me like this. I said, what is the problem? She said, does your mouth not pain you? I said, does mouth pain people? After it started disturbing us, we started enduring it. She does not talk, but she's fine. She loves God. He talks a lot, but it makes sense. And he has purpose. But after we endured it, we started enjoying it. When all my friends started having problems in their churches, I wasn't having problem. So they say, how come you are not having problem? I said, why are you having problem? They said, my wife said, they said, my wife said. I said, my wife is not saying anything, and silence cannot be quoted. Then one day she had a guest. So I said, oh, my wife's friend. I went into the room, so that they can talk. Then she came looking for me. She said, come help me talk to my friend. I said, what's her problem? She said, she has no problem, but I've said everything I know to say. I said, you have to beg me again. And I was telling you this talking thing. You think it's an easy thing? Talking is not an easy something. To be talking is a gift. We started celebrating it. Let me close. So, irreconcilable differences. The question is, what do we do with the differences? In this book, I mentioned 3 things we do with it. Number 1, some will change. Some will just change. I can't explain it. I don't know why. Some will change. When I married my wife, I get into the room. My shoe is here. My socks is here. My tie is there. I don't know what happened to me. Now I'm the one that makes sure everything is in its place. I look at my wife and say, some of the things we used to fight about, we were just stupid. Because looking back, there was no reason to have fought about them. She's changed. I've changed. Some will be exchanged. That is the one nobody prepared us for. After we've been married 10, 12, 15 years, we started exchanging it. She was the quiet one, I was the talking one. She became the talking one, I became the quiet one. I can't explain that. I built our house, 6-bedroom. I made sure it's bungalow on one end, duplex on the other. I did the duplex because of my wife. Because when I get home, I'm in the sitting room playing with everybody. She wants to just go to her room and have privacy. So I built our own honeymoon suite just for her. The problem is I finished building. She started saying in the sitting room, what? When we just got married, we started a church and I finished preaching. 3 hours after the service, I'm still talking to people. She will just sit down in one place. And people will come to me, Reverend, your wife had been waiting. I said, tell her 5 more minutes. That is 1 more hour. Then she became the pastor. She started preaching. People that knew her initially, they are not even sure she's preaching. They are shocked she's talking. Now my wife, when I get back to church, people are telling me they don't miss me. She's preaching good. I'm jealous, but don't tell them. I pretend as if it's not paining me. But sometimes, you know how it is. Sometimes it's painful. So I'll travel and get back home. We finish service, let's go home. The children will come to me, Daddy, let's go. I say, go and tell your mommy. Then they come back. Daddy, mommy said 5 more minutes. No! I know 5 more minutes. I'm the originator of 5 more minutes. Some will be exchanged. But the final thing you need to know is that there are some you have to manage for life. Have you ever discovered the Bible explanation of love is not what Hollywood says it is? 1 Corinthians 13. What did he say about love? Love suffers. If I didn't say it suffers, say it suffers long. Love endures all things. Love does not keep a record of evil because there is a part of love that you manage for life. In fact, in this book, I pretend is most of the time a Pareto principle, which means it's 80-20. There is nobody you marry that will be 100%. Most of the time, there will be 80% of exciting things. There will be 20% of irreconcilable differences that will be irreconcilable till death do you part. I wrote out the story of a man that brought his pastor home. Pastor, come and look at my home. And my wife said she's a woman. Though. Look at my kitchen, very dirty. Look at, my wife does not even know how to cook. She does not know how to clean. Is that a woman? Pastor said, Why did you marry her? She was fun to be with. She makes me laugh. She's very pretty. Pastor said, she's still pretty. Yes. Does she still make you laugh? Yes. How long have you been married? 23 years. Look, if she did not clean the first 23, she won't clean the next 23. The problem some of our parents in Africa made, the mistake they made, they married a woman. Example, nice woman, intelligent, can discuss intelligently, caring, nurturing, raising good kids. The only problem, she does not know how to dress. When she walks and combine color, you see purple over yellow over orange and put blue. She's a moving rainbow. When they want to teach children colors in children's church, they send for her. They know she will have all the color on her body. Some men are like that. They wear yellow over red like tetracycline. Some men are like that. And some women are like that. So the man keeps on complaining. My wife, she doesn't know how to dress. She will combine everything and look like tetracycline. Is she a rainbow? Is she a rainbow? Then she gets a secretary. The lips, the tips, and the fingertips, everything perfect. She combines color. The man is excited. The man leaves his wife for the secretary, only to discover she can't cook. She can't reason at his level of intelligence. She does not know how to nurture children. Only a fool will leave 80% to hold on to 20%. The reason why they said in America right now, 50% of marriages don't work, but 92% of second marriages don't work. It's because second marriages went for 20%. Then they discover it's a big mistake. So ladies and gentlemen, marriage can be sweet. It's together forever. But you need to get the grace and you get the aptitude. Did you get blessed? Beautiful. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Thank you. People listen to me very carefully, especially my church singles, brother. A lady came to me, was crying in my office. Reverend, I'm your daughter. You have a strong anointing. Everybody you pray for gets married. How come I'm not married? She was crying. And she was about 34 years old. Then all of a sudden I started laughing. She was annoyed. She said, Reverend, I'm carrying you and laughing. I'm your daughter. Why are you doing this? I said, I'm sorry. I said, I started laughing because it occurred to me that you are 34. And the person that left here too is 34. And I prefer your problem to her problem. She got married at 22. But she's been 12 years of hell. So it just occurred to me now that your problem, I prefer it. So don't rush into anything because he's not worried. I want to talk to single parents also. Single parents, Jesus was raised by a single mother because Joseph died early. That is not the end of your world. Don't look down on yourself. Give the best to your children. Believe God to remarry. If he comes, if he does not come, face your children, face your God. God will give you strength to bear through. Sleeping around does not work because you enter into disease and you get into trouble that complicates your issues. Are you listening to me? I don't have time to speak too much about that, but I just feel it would be good for me to mention that in one way or the other. Grandmothers, God bless you. If your kids are married, they are married. Leave their husband alone. Somebody asked me a question in church. I do question and answer in my church. My members are here, they will tell you. I do question and answer. Somebody said, my question is that if your mom is sick and your wife is sick and you have only one tablet that will cure them and one of them will die if they don't get it, who will you give? The person said it's a difficult question. I said it's not a difficult question. He said it's a very simple question. My wife is sick. My mother is sick. I have one tablet. My mother is my daddy's wife. My wife is my wife. Let everybody take care of their wives. My dad was looking at me like, yes. So there is no problem. So once your son is married, give them space. God bless you. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
My question is, when you talk about marriage and the husband and the wife, they live it together in harmony. Well, we fail to touch the part where there is domestic, assault, violation, and all that. In that area, what should the wife do?
Praise
So
God.
some people, they have left their matrimonial homes just because they're being abused in their marriages.
Thank you. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 told us, he said, if the husband depart, which means Paul and the Bible recognize that there could be some mitigating circumstances that one party needs to depart. Are you hearing me? That's Bible. Number one, when your life is in danger, when your life is more superior to marriage, because you do marriage because you are living. When your life is in danger, depart. That's what the Bible says. This is not my opinion. That's what Paul said in 1 Corinthians 7. He was talking about me. He said, concerning the question you wrote to me, this is the answer. Then I think it's verse 3 or 4 or something. He said, if the other party departs, he said, you are not under bondage in that case. So which means there could be a reason to depart. And let me also come in this direction. It might not be physical abuse, but if the guy is sleeping around, look, I'm a little bit older now. When we're younger, we say if he's sleeping around, forgive him and all that. We've seen cases the guy now mess around, bring 18, give the wife, both of them are dead now. The children are orphans. So if we can't save him, then let's save you. You get what I'm saying? So that's my stand. Without any apology, please. Praise God. Yeah. Yes, sir. Only men are asking me questions. Are ladies shy?
Praise God.
Hallelujah.
First of all, I want to commend you for...
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
That was very wonderful.
Amen. Yeah. Don't. Yeah.
Angry. If you can just give us an example where you
Beautiful.
find yourself
Angry.
angry.
Beautiful. If you think you don't get angry, it's because you are not married. You think you don't get angry, it's because you are not married. But the Bible said, but this, let me tell you how my wife and I handles that. Genesis, I was teaching somebody this in Chicago yesterday night. Genesis chapter number 1. The Bible said the seed of everything God created is in itself. So everything in this world. So the seed of mango is in mango. The seed of orange is in orange. The seed of shut up is in shut up. The seed of you are mad is in you are mad. But the thing with seed and harvest is that when you sow it, the harvest is bigger. So how does fight start? The lady said, you are not serious. The seed is in itself. The guy said, me, I'm not serious. You are not serious. In fact, you are stupid. Lady said, he has planted the seed. Then he give the harvest. I'm stupid. They are stupid in your family. That's why your father is to be your seed time and harvest. So my wife and I agree that if one of us mistakenly plant a wrong seed, the other one should kill it. And it's not about gender, it's about the most matured. And we do it in a very comical way that is difficult to be angry. So, if me and my wife is talking and she said to me, oh, man of God, that's a lie. I said, that's it. Where is the window? Where's the window? Where's the window? I threw the seed away. I'm not going to plant it back. Then we laugh. You've got to find a way to diffuse tension in your house. You see, all this that we are angry, and we are not, even your sleep won't be sweet. You see, you need to understand something about the laws of God. It does not affect God. It's for us to live a better life. So settle before you sleep. It just makes your life better. Now, here it is. My wife and I had come to a conclusion that no matter the problem we have, we won't keep malice. Yeah. So, in my house, you can hear me telling my wife, I'm really mad at you, but I'm hungry. What will I eat? I say, even me, I'm really pissed at you. but what do you want to eat? I said, with all you have done, you should be begging, but we eat rice. She said, me be begging? You? But I'm not giving you rice. You have been eating rice since Monday. I'm not giving. I said, okay, though I'm still angry with you, but to the Lord, please give me rice first. We said to later. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So it's an agreement. We don't just keep malice. You see, there are some things you need to settle before the problem comes. Because in the heat of the problem, you might not be able to settle it. So that's what I think husband and wife should do. How do we handle things when we are angry and all that? Yes, ma'am. The mic, okay. Okay, so, yeah, I'll hear you. Yeah. Which is beautiful.
Yes, we support each other, and it's a very peaceful, happy relationship. I worry, though, when we have children, our children will be of two different cultures.
Yeah.
And each family will feel an equal claim that their culture should be, the one that's dominating.
Yeah.
And our children will feel conflicted, like,
Yeah.
what do I need to choose? So I worry that our children will be like the child brought before Solomon.
Evolved between two.
So how do you create an environment in your marriage and in your
Beautiful.
home where the children and families all feel like they belong with your family?
Beautiful. Beautiful. It will shock you, though, that even for us that are of this same color in Africa, we have so variant cultures that it could be very, very amazing. So, this is what I've advised over time. You people sit down and say, forget my culture, forget your culture, what is our culture? Okay? So, when my dad married my mom, our dad said, my culture, okay, he's adopted that, but I mean, that's it, that my mom knows, says, look, my culture is that when it is watch night service into the new year, he had like maybe 40 wives and children. I mean, we don't count, Yeah, but we are enough to be a city. We have school bus, okay, ladies and for guys. Okay, so he said, I'd like all of them to come around me so that we can have party till the new year. And my dad said, thank you, sir. But you see, that culture you just mentioned is what me and my wife too wants to start. That what night me and my wife too we will do together as a family all through the night. So and everybody was like, hey, what will he say? The man said, well, that's good that's the culture. So you need to have your culture. Because you see, the problem starts when you're like, our culture is superior, you start having issues. But if we say, look, this is our culture, so it's our culture, it's not because you black, you white, you brown, it's our culture as a family. Do you get what I'm saying? And sometimes culture can be very funny. Let me give you an example. I grew up in a too organized family. My dad will ring a bell to wake you up. Then you come to the sitting room. Then you kneel down and pray. Then you sleep half of the time. Then you go take your bath. Then everybody is sitting at the sitting room, dining table. Then you sit at the dining. Oh my. It got boring. So the first time I went to my wife Tobi's house and I saw the dad, an African chief, came back from work, removed his clothes, his tummy was outside. He was eating in the sitting room, watching television. I said, yes. What I didn't know, though, was that when my wife comes to our house and sees us at the dining, she's very excited and says, yes. I don't know if you get the scenario. And we never talked about it. So she was entering the marriage with, I'm marrying a cultured guy who will sit around the table, and I'm entering into the marriage with liberty at last. Glory to God. That's what happens in a lot of marriages. We don't talk about some of those things. Until you get there. So we had to sit down and say, okay, so what's the culture? I'll tell you up till now, we see struggle with it. Some we do at the dining, some we do watching TV, some I eat upstairs. I mean, you know, my daughters now, for example, are insisting that we sit at the table. And me and the mom now, both of us don't want to do it, but now we just sit down and we're like, we'll soon go to school. And leave us alone. But that is life. Can you imagine? That's how it is. So you please build your own culture that your children can grow in. And that's how it's going to work. Beautiful. You wanted to say something? Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Singles, you are not talking.
Sir, what do you have to say about cohabitation? Like,
Yeah.
a couple,
Beautiful, beautiful. Somebody asked me a question and said to me, how far can I go with my girlfriend? And I answered, question and answer like this. I said, you know how far to go? She said, no, I don't know how far to go. We're not married, but how far can I go? I said, no, you know how far to go. He said, no, I just want to know, can we kiss? Can we hug? I said, okay, how far do you want in the future somebody to go with your daughter? If they touch her, you know how far. You are just wicked. The same thing with cohabitation. It's just stupid for 3 reasons. That's why I'm saying that, you see, the laws of God is to protect us. It does not do him nothing. Number 1 reason is because you are not married until the ring enters. You are not married. So you've been sleeping with somebody. What if invariably you get married to his cousin? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. I've seen things. I'm young, but I've seen things. That's number 2. Your children will grow. Did you want them to do that? Because you see, it's easy when you are the one on the selfish end. Something very funny happened to me some time ago. A pastor preaching in Lagos. The pastor said, well, you mentioned you're going to Manchester. I said, yes. And please, when you get to Manchester, my daughter is there. She's cohabiting with a boy. I don't know. I'm a Christian. The daddy is a Christian. We were SU from secondary school. How can my daughter? And I felt for her. So I took the girl's number. I go to Manchester. I called the girl. Gracious girl. She came to meet me in the hotel. I said, look, your parents are bothered about you. She said, She said, if I didn't even know that what you want to talk about, I won't come. It's because I know you and I respect you that I came. I said, but you see, what you're doing is not good. He said, don't mind them. They've been Christians in secondary school. He said, sir, ask them when you see them, when did they get married? And how old am I? Oh! And she said, even me, my shoulder part came down. Because what she was trying to say is that they got pregnant. That's why they got married. Because calculating when I was born and when they got married, I was in my mommy's tummy. When they got married, we are giving back to kids now that are fat. So one day you want to be daddy. How can you be sleeping around? You go, shut up. We heard from your friends how you people are shacking up. But that's the thing. But you know what I told the girl? I say, I like you, you're smart. But it will pay me if your daughter said this about you. Because you are toiling the same part. So please don't do it. Don't even do it. It's not worth it. You know, so that's what I have to say. Okay. Yeah. I'll take just one more question. One more. So the material is going to be with somebody who has the materials. Be at the back so you can pick it if you want after the meeting. Any other question? None. Okay, let's stand on our feet and pray. You remember what Jesus said in Matthew 19. He said it requires certain aptitude and grace. I discovered that it takes 2 legs to run well. It takes 2 wings to fly. It takes a combination of information and interpretation for us to get the best result. Put your right hand